What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 100% Chelsea. It's another day, another match build-up show. It's time for Wolves on Sunday. As you can see, I'm here with Lewis again, obviously. How you doing, mate? After yesterday, which was dreadful.
Well,
not dreadful in this we won, obviously.
I know.
It was comfortable, but it wasn't.
It was just long, but let's be real. Europa League football is just that. It's just a drag, and the sooner we get out of it, the better.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. To be honest, there's nothing to say about the game.
It could be worse. We could be another club in North London. No words.
Some people can do it in France, you see. But yeah, as I said, it was a run-of-the-mill game. Nothing really to talk about. We spoke about it yesterday. There is something to talk about today. Quite big. Most of you probably would have seen it by now, and that is that Chelsea have basically had their appeal to have the ban that we're getting pushed back until the appeal's over. It has been rejected by FIFA.
Yeah, thanks for that, FIFA.
Yeah.
Fucking seen VAR decisions take longer than that.
I rate that. Did you get that from somewhere by chance, or did you actually come up with that? Because I've seen a couple of people say that.
Probably.
But yeah, I've got a quote from Chelsea Football Club. They say that they are astonished by FIFA's appeal committee, their decision not to suspend its sanction pending completion of the appeal process, and that the club has acted in accordance with all the regulations. And it's also said that they are astonished about the fact that other European clubs have had this appeal pushed back when this has happened to them and not to us. And I think that does kind of speak volumes. I think if you look like obviously the most talked about ones or the most noticeable ones, both Madrid teams, Barcelona, they had theirs pushed back. They were allowed time. I've noticed a lot of people talking about corruption, and I'm not going to go into that because that's a whole can of worms to go into. That's a whole different subject to go into and a lot to pick apart. But just basic stuff, what do you think about it?
Bullshit, first off.
Yeah.
What I think about the transfer ban is, regardless of us being rejected, it hasn't gone to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and it probably is going to them, and they're going to be the ones that will probably end up giving the appeal. So it's probably not going to be as bad as a lot of us are making it out to be. I'm not going to lie, if we actually end up with a transfer ban, then if they don't give us the appeal either, then we are fucked in the summer. But I'm kind of confident that we are going to get that. We are going to get the appeal from them. Another thing we need to make clear is, here's a weird thing. There was something on top of my head that I've forgotten. I've literally forgotten it. It will if it comes back into my head, I'll make it clear.
But one thing I do want to touch on with you that I haven't really touched on before, at least not on camera, I don't believe we've touched on, is your opinions just on the transfer ban in general, just on the whole process that's gone through, what it's going to look like in the coming season.
Yeah, that just reminded me of the other point. My point is, if we don't get this appeal and we have to go through the transfer ban, everyone who's responsible for it needs to be sacked. That's the first thing we need to, because let's be real, we're talking all about an overhaul. We're talking about how the club needs to change from the top downwards. If we have a two transfer window ban, especially in the state that we are in right now, and we have failed to prepare for season upon season upon season upon season, everyone responsible needs to be out. That was the point I need to make. But what were you?
Just your opinion on the transfer ban as a whole. Obviously, I don't believe, I could be wrong, I don't believe that we got to hear opinions on camera in any sense, and just the whole process, as I said, just to put an appeal in, as you said, the rejection took, what was it? I think the whole process of us putting the appeal and it being rejected was a case of 4 days.
I swear they ain't even done doing everything they need to do. They were just very quick to throw that off.
How can you have an appeal process that lasts 8 months and you're decided, no, it's fine, in 4 days?
Jose was right, there is a campaign.
But yeah, just your whole sort of opinion on it, looking towards the future and whatnot.
It is really shit. I mean, one of the positives is that before this happened, we did manage to get rid of some deadwood. Moses, Fabregas would have taken a lot off the wage bill.
Yep.
But there's still plenty deadwood in the squad.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Like, if we want to just roll off a couple names to begin with, Ross Barkley.
Yeah, Drinkwater,
Willian Pedro, Zappacosta. Look, all of this. Yeah. But that also leads to a positive potential of actually using the youth. I know there's going to be a question of are we going to use the youth? And I'm not going to try and be that confident knowing our track record. But if we have this transfer ban, it's forcing our hand. And let's be honest, we've said it so many times, but if we have this ban and we don't use the youth, then what's the point?
I think that's at the point. It's already almost at a point where we can't be helped as a club in terms of playing youth. This ban has basically put us into a corner where we've got no other option. And if we still don't choose that option, what hope have we got as a club going forward?
Here's the thing, like, if we had the appeal, it would be to an extent, it would be a blessing in disguise. Because the first thing I do is I bring back that entire loan army, keep anyone with any real chance of making it into the first team. That's about 5 or 6 names, to be honest.
Yeah, you could include a few more just in terms of squad players to get rid of that deadwood.
Oh yeah, if it includes deadwood, yeah, maybe add a couple more. But the point still stands. There's about 30, 40 man on there.
Oh yeah, I think it's 40 exactly, or like 41, I think.
Let's be real, and if we take into account Marina and her ability to shake clubs when it comes to us selling them, we could actually make pretty decent profit out of that. And that would be what? 100, maybe pushing 150, really far off 200, maybe depending on how good she is at it.
Yeah.
That's another 100 to 200 million that we could put on transfers to boost our squad for next season, including the youth players that we have. We could really make this transfer ban to an extent work for us.
Yeah.
But will we?
I absolutely agree. I think that this could be a perfect time to in a way, start that rebuild we've been talking about in terms of start moving the youth in to get rid of, as I said, the deadwood, the likes of the Zappacostas, Drinkwaters, Williams, etc. that we've mentioned. I think the main thing, as you touched on, is are we going to? And I really want to be positive because obviously, like, no one hates being negative about their club. I certainly don't. I doubt you do. But there is nothing remotely that I've seen in the past, in the present, in any point that I can remember in the last 20 years maybe, at least since I've been alive, that indicates that we're going to change.
This is the thing. It's very hard to be motivated when your club isn't, and the problem is, and we've said it so many times, when it comes to transfer windows, no matter how strong we look or how strong we think we look, we always look like a mess whenever the window opens. I mean, you use January for example. We had that big send-off for Fabregas against Nottingham Forest. And then a couple of days later, he's apparently back in training because we haven't got a replacement for him. Then he ends up going to Monaco, and we still don't get that replacement.
I think it goes deeper than that. I think if you look like that whole farce, we said we're not getting rid of Fabregas until we get a replacement. That was made clear. Then all of a sudden, we can go to Monaco because we got a replacement lined up. Then, as you said, it's the Nottingham Forest, the training fiasco. Then all of a sudden, we've got a deal in place with Paredes to sign him.
That was at Zenit.
It was like he's not PSG.
Oh,
yeah, he went. He went like a few days. Like we basically said no, we don't want to pay. I think we wanted 30 million for him. They said no, we want at least 40, 45, and we went no, we're not paying that for a second choice. Basically, went to PSG. But it was like we had so many ideas in mind, as we tend to do. I.e., look at Lukaku last season. I think it was the season before.
Oh yeah, we wanted Lukaku for bare time, and then
we spent a good month just like, no, we'll get him at any point. We can do whatever we want. United come in with a bid. Oh crap, we've got to do something now. And we end up Morata, and oh Christ, we know that
poor guy, he had to re-dye his hair and everything.
But yeah, it's just a farce. I do question how one's the ownership of a club can be that sort of inept in the transfer window.
Here's the thing. First time in our I'm not going to say our history. I mean, if you're a rival fan, you'll call it first time in our history. But first time under Roman Abramovich, where we're kind of in a crisis and he ain't anywhere, because Abramovich was usually the first one to come down to the training ground whenever we had issues, and he'd be there to sort it out. I remember Ancelotti saying in his autobiography, whenever he lost a game, he had to be in Abramovich's office explaining why he lost. And that was, obviously, Abramovich didn't really have the best understanding of football at that time. That's why he was hiring and firing managers. That's improved now, which is why Mourinho had so much time in 15-16, but he ain't here now.
No.
Just as simple as that.
No, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. He's starting to understand a bit more. You see Conte last season, he could have gone at least in half of the season. He could have gone after Watford, but he stayed the whole season, was allowed the whole season to do whatever he needed to do. And he wasn't actually technically sacked until a few days before we were going to get Sarri, until that was confirmed, wasn't it?
It was a couple of days into July. Like, we fully let him come back, start training, and we sacked him 2 days afterwards.
But yes, it seems like he's a bit more understanding, but I think I've raised this point before, and I know others like Nini have raised this point, where him being here now is just a detriment to the club. Sorry, not being here is just a detriment to the club. It's not helpful at all. It means we've got to deal with Marina, who, no offence to her, her leadership skills, I'll put it, seem to be non-existent. Her business skills, in a sense, in terms of the dealing she's able to do, are good, but we're not able to do them quick enough.
It's good, but it's very inconsistent. Like, there's some Marina deals where you look at and say, oh, fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
I think
there's some of them you'll just look at them and you'll be like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, we keep talking about, go back to that 17-18 summer transfer window, where we just completely fucked up the chance to put Conte's dynasty forward. I mean, I keep saying it. This is the reason why I'm not mad this season, because I see the bigger picture. But last season, I was vexed.
I agree. I mean, you look at sort of some of the players we wanted to bring in. I know they might not have been able to, for one reason or another. But he was wanting players like, for example, Bonucci, he left Juventus because he had a falling out with someone or other. I'm not entirely sure who. He'd have been a very viable player to get. Would have been perfect for Conte. Played under him for many years for Italy and for Juve. Knows exactly what he wants to do. But no, instead we go and spend mental money on Bakayoko and drink water.
The thing with us is that we always react too late in the transfer window, and that's been our problem. And when we're looking at this transfer ban, if we get this appeal, the one thing that we need to ask is just get everything done early. The last time I remember us getting all of our business done very early and going into the season properly prepared was the 14-15 season. Jose got Fabregas, he got Luiz, Courtois, Diego Costa all sorted the first couple of weeks, and then we barely made a move for the rest of the window. What happened? We were top of the league for every match day bar one. That's what we need to be doing. If we want to go back to where we used to be, which is regularly contending for league titles, being in the Champions League instead of this dead B-Tech alternative, then we need to start moving in the transfer window.
I think, talking about your point about getting stuff done early, to a certain extent, obviously, there was problems with it. I think the summer window was a good, sort of, obviously, it was late-ish in the window, but that was because of when Sarri came in. I think that in terms of the business, it was done relatively quickly, as far as I remember. Like the Kepa deal was done as soon as we knew Courtois was gone. The Jorginho deal was done straight away. Same with Kovacic.
But here's the thing: was it really? Because the deals came through. When Sarri came in, he had 6 weeks left to fucking build the side he wanted. He was rumoured with that Chelsea job from March, and the rumours were strong from the FA Cup final. And that's a 2-month period where we could have done something and we didn't. The problem after that is that Sarri doesn't have enough time with the squad. The players that we came in, Jorginho was alright, 57 million. Bit of an expensive fee, but we need Sarri ball coming in as soon as possible, and he's going to be key to helping that, so I get that. Courtois, from the sound of it, was out since March. And the fact is, we didn't do anything until the last week of the transfer window. That is shit. I'm sorry, that's fucking shit from us. Who else? Mateo Kovacic. I'm not gonna lie, a 1 season loan deal from a Real Madrid player, it's alright. But it's alright. And who else are we missing? Because there's one other. I think there's one other.
Wasn't that it in the summer and in the January?
Oh no, it was Rob Green. Ignore me.
Yeah, guy can't get ahead of Cummings.
No, actually no. He won us that penalty shootout against Lyon in the Champions Cup. Fair play for that.
But my only point with that was that it was done late in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, just in terms of when Sarri came in, it was done quickly in terms of that respect. The whole thing with Sarri was a farce, but since he came in, it was done quickly from when he came in. He should have came in long before he did.
He should have been sorted as soon as the cup final, because let's be honest, we all knew Conte was out the door since January at least.
After the Watford game, as I said, you probably could have sacked him at that point.
Here's the thing. That's a story for another video. Ignore that.
Fair enough then. But yeah, let us know what you think. Got a little bit off track, but yeah, let us know what you think about the appeal being rejected. As we said, it's going to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and it should hopefully be all sorted from there. But let us know what you think in the comments section below. And yeah, that's about it. We're talking of youth. We're going to move on to something I said I wasn't going to talk about the game yesterday, but there's a few comments I want to bring up, and I've got a big point I want to talk about, and we will get back to that in a moment. Welcome back, guys, to the match build-up show. Now, before the little break there, I said that I wanted to talk a bit about some comments made yesterday after the game, and it was to do with youth, and that's Maurizio Sarri's comments. Now, the past few games, like since the City game onwards, I've been impressed with Sarri in terms of how he's changed, how he's adapted, how he's looked like he's learning. But unfortunately, with his comments that he's made yesterday about a particular player, you'll probably be able to guess, or you already know the comments. I feel like that's starting to diminish a little bit. He was talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi, and we spoke before. People on this channel and on other channels and on Twitter and other social media, etc., have spoken about how first week of January after the Tottenham game, I think it was the 1-0 where we lost in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. He said he was ready. He said he was able to start games. He was looking like he would be able to put him in his team. Sarri's come out after the game yesterday and said that Hudson-Odoi needs to improve, and that these next bit I'm paraphrasing here, but that for someone of his age, of 18, 19, he should be happy with the minutes he's getting, because not a lot of players at other clubs in the Premier League are getting the same time. So what I did, I like my lists, as you'll probably be able to tell quite quickly. If you watch videos probably coming up or whatnot, I may bring up more lists, but I created a list of all the players I could find in the league between 18 and 20 that have played more games than Hudson-Odoi. And there's a good 18 here, I think it is. 26, 9, there's 14 players here. And just to go through some, we've got... So Hudson-Odoi's made 4 appearances, by the way, in the Premier League. It's just the Premier League I'm talking about. Declan Rice made 26, Ryan Sessegnon 26, Gibbs White, funnily enough, ironically, Wolves preview, Gibbs White's made 20, Vinagre, their left wing back as well, has made 13, Valerie, Southampton 15. And another point I want to bring up with this, before I get your thoughts on this, because I know a lot of people will be saying that these players, they're playing for teams that haven't got aspirations of challenging for a title or challenging for top 4. Just to put that myth completely out of there, Foden for City, 9 appearances, double what Hudson-Odoi has made. Dalot for United, 10 appearances. Alexander-Arnold, 20 appearances, and is probably England's starting right back now. Guendouzi as well has had there's a couple of games, like, obviously you'll take credit on this for being an Arsenal player. He's had a few bad games and whatnot, but 25 appearances this season. I don't really understand the comments and where he's coming from, if I'm being honest.
I'm not gonna lie. I've said it before, Hudson-Odoi is our best right winger, and I stand by that. But I think, for the sake of discussion, I'm gonna go play devil's advocate, and I'm trying to look at this from Maurizio Sarri's point of view. Now, I keep saying that Hudson-Odoi our best right winger. He should be starting more games. He should be getting minutes. Thing is, Hudson-Odoi is getting minutes, and the one thing I will say that maybe pushes more on Maurizio Sarri's side is, look at examples like Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney, Cesc Fabregas. These are players that played game in and game out and were probably the best player in their teams, except for Rooney because he was in the Ronaldo era at that point. But at that point, they were one of, if not the best players in their team, and they were amazing for their age. But they winded down particularly early. Cesc Fabregas has already lost his legs at the age of 30. Wayne Rooney's already in the MLS. Owen, I think, retired at 32. Now, I think from Maurizio Sarri's point of view, I don't think he's trying to say Hudson-Odoi isn't talented. Like, we've had the conversations about his stamina. That's another point, which I kind of understand. But I think Maurizio Sarri is just looking to try and bed him in a little bit slower. So overall, in the long term, he can maximise his career. If that kind of makes sense. I'm not saying don't play Hudson-Odoi. I'm going to say it for the third time. He's our best right winger. I get that. But if you want me to play devil's advocate, maybe he's just trying to bring him into first team football at this top level a bit slower.
I think I can understand what you're saying. I think, sort of backing up your point about the stamina, one thing that I learned about Gerrard, and I was told by others, is that he had a similar sort of problem with his stamina when he first was at Liverpool, and that's how they used to do it. They used to either he'd play the first half or some of the game, and he'd always come off, or he wouldn't play all the game, but he'd come on and he'd get a lot of minutes, and then it allowed him to build his stamina up. And so I do understand your point about the stamina. My only thing is, and I saw Simon Phillips on Twitter raise this point, is that he's talking about him wanting to improve. I don't see how he's going to with the odd 10-minute cameo here, the odd 15-minute cameo there, unless he starts getting a 30-minute period of the games, like Loftus-Cheek did yesterday, or he gets the game like he did in the Malmo away game, where he gets the whole game to showcase what he can do. I don't see how he can quite improve. Obviously, we don't see what happens in training. He could be making those small steps in training. We just don't know about it. But from what we see on the pitch, it looks as though he's not given the opportunity to improve with what he's getting.
No, that's where Sarri does come into blame. And here's the thing: as much as I understand, like my previous point about how you want to bring him in a little bit slowly, the Europa League, let's be honest, is perfect for that. And there were games like Malmo away. There was games like the game yesterday where he should have been starting and he didn't. Because, let's be real, I now want him to start against Wolves as a result, but will he? That's the problem.
I can see him coming on, but I don't see him starting, personally.
And then moving on after that, it's he'll probably play against Kiev in the next game.
Yeah.
That will mean he won't have to play against Everton.
But then it's
hopefully Cardiff he plays, because then that would actually be a decent amount of minutes of him for the month.
Plus, no offense to Cardiff, it's a team where, as I said in the one on the match for Kiev, that and Burnley, those are the sort of perfect games, because no offence to them, they're a relegation threatened team, they're not offering much.
Let's be real, they've just lost Sol Bamba for the season. They're
probably their best player, or at least their best defender by far.
This is why we want to see him start, we want to see him get those minutes, but if you're not even seeing him get the minutes against Kiev in the first leg, it's the home leg as well, it just doesn't fill you with optimism.
No, it's then when you're getting like the games against the Evertons, against maybe not the top teams, because we probably wouldn't expect him to start those games, but the Evertons, the Leicesters, the Brightons. I think we've played them away. Have we played them home? I don't think we have.
Who?
Brighton,
yeah, we played them away.
But we haven't played them home. We still got to play them home.
Game in hand.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. But yeah, those sorts of teams where they're sort of mid-table-ish, they're okay, they're decent. Those would be the games you want him to see him get more minutes against. And you just don't know whether he will at the minute with the current situation.
It's not in a minute, and it goes back to what you were saying about how long's left of the season. 10 games left, potentially about 5 Europa League games left. That will be about 15. Well, there will be 15, in fact.
I think it's 7. Yeah, because it's...
No, there's 10 games left. No, but we've played one game already.
So it's 6.
No, because quarters, yes.
6 because final as well. If we get to the final, which we should do, but it all depends. But yeah, absolutely, yeah. What's about 16 games left of the season? How many of those you really realistically think he's going to play? If, say, we do get to the semi-final and final, is he going to play those? Probably not.
Here's the thing, it then moves on to, like, all season there's been the Sarri and the Sarri out agenda, and then it's been obvious where I stand. I've made it clear all season. If Hudson-Odoi continues to not get minutes, though, the argument for Sarri out is only going to get bigger from the Sarri out brigade.
Yeah, I think then going back to our point on the ban, if Hudson-Odoi is not getting minutes and he's clearly our best player, our second best winger, I should say, in general, it doesn't fill me with confidence that the players like the De Silvas, the Jameses, the Mounts, the Inyas for slightly a step down, or the Tamoras and whatnot, they're going to then get minutes in a season where, if we have the ban, we need to play youth.
This is a thing, though, and it's something that's popped into my head as well. We kind of knew Sarri was going to be like this going into it, because at Napoli, what was one of his issues? Playing the youth. Remember Guardiola saying in December, apparently, that he told Sarri to focus on about 14 players and the rest don't really matter. So Sarri's going to have his core group of players. Now, I just got to hope Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek are in there. To be honest, I'd be surprised if they weren't because Ruben Loftus-Cheek is our best midfielder going forward, and Hudson-Odoi is our best right winger. So if they're not in there, then questions do need to be asked, regardless of whether you're Sarri in or Sarri out. But I still say stick with him for the first season.
I think now that we've got the ban, I'm personally stick with him. I think that my reservations with him were due to the stubbornness and the lack of change, and we've seen, as I said, the last few weeks, the Tottenham game, the City game, to a lesser extent the Fulham game, the first half particularly, not the second half so much. We've seen that change, we've seen the adaptation, we've seen the wanting to include a few more players. But yeah, I think that I have a worry in my head, and one thing I do want to bring up is that I don't think this point about Hudson-Odoi will be anywhere near as big as it is in terms of getting minutes if it wasn't for the fact he had 12 months left on his contract, or whatever it is left, like 13, 14, whatever it is left.
Hudson-Odoi's got a year left?
Yes. That's part of the reason.
Shit, man, I just realised
we wanted him to sign a contract in January or just before because he only had a year left, and he said no. So by January of next year, when we still may have the ban or the ban comes in place, he'll be able to speak to anyone for free, and the most we'll get is a bit of compensation because he's under 23.
You just fucked up the whole thing for me. I didn't even know that.
Oh, I thought you did.
I really didn't know that. Wow, he's on a year left.
Yes. Again, we're going the Arsenal route, aren't we? Of just letting players run down their contract to about a year and then go, do you want a contract? No, what's the point?
There's a potential if we keep Hazard that him and Hudson-Odoi will leave for a free next season. You kill me.
That's a depressing thought. That's a very depressing thought.
Optimistic thoughts. We're going to win the Europa League.
Yeah, we're gonna win it all and all that. But yeah, one other small point I wanted to bring on this, and it's only my worry that with him not playing, and with obviously I feel like this won't happen only because he'll get game time elsewhere, and there's a lot of other avenues for him to go down, like the Sancho route and the Nelson route of going elsewhere, or like there are other teams that want him. But I do worry that there could be another situation that we've seen in the past with some players of they're just not working. We've seen it with with Ravel Morrison, now at Ostersund's. We've seen it with recently released Sergei Samper. He was touted as being for Barcelona next Xavi, even given his old number when Xavi was in the academy at Barcelona. Wow. And he's just been released in the past. I think in the past couple of weeks he's been released.
People need to stop hyping these youngsters.
Yeah, you know
like this.
It's like Arsenal fans. Oh, Guendouzi's the next Zidane.
Shut up, what happened?
Shut up.
What happened?
Jeez. Trying to tell me he's Pogba and Kante rolled into one. Just shut up.
He's the second coming of Denilson with David Luiz in the week. That's what it is.
Oh, that's brilliant. But yeah, there's not much more to be said than that. I think, as we've said, like we want him to play. There are reasons we can understand certain reasons why he might not play. For me, the main thing I want out of this actually is just sorry to not be commenting about it. Because his comments just don't seem to add up with anything he says previously. That's my main thing.
This is the thing with press conference. I agree with you on that because I'm not going to lie, sorry confuses the hell out of me sometimes. Even for someone who's sorry, and he does confuse the hell out of me sometimes. But I feel like with that, I just try to play out like I'm a football fan, and maybe I just don't understand the game like that. But if we're going to stand there and analyse it, he does confuse me a bit. You said Hudson-Odoi was ready and now he's not getting the minutes. Willian is not better than him. Pedro on his day will be, but he's in decline. No. It's going to be very few and far between from now on.
Yeah, I'd say, sorry to interrupt you, I'd say Willian can have his game. Like we've seen at Sheffield Wednesday, we saw it to an extent. The Malmo away game, I thought for me he was man of the match. I know a lot of people said Hudson-Odoi, but they're few and far between at this point.
That's the thing. I keep Willian only because he turns up against those small teams. Like if you play him in the FA Cup early rounds, Cup early rounds, early Europa League rounds, this guy's like second Hazard. But if you play him against league teams or anyone of real competition, boy. But that's Willian's only saving grace. Pedro's also older too.
That's a fair point. But yeah, as we said, guys, that's about it. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, obviously, I would say let us know if you want Hudson-Odoi to play. But obviously, most people are going to say yes. That's a really stupid thing. But yeah, let us know what you think about the whole thing, about Sarri's comments, about just about the whole thing, what you think of his comments. how much you think Hudson-Odoi will play in the coming weeks for the rest of the season. And that's about it. On to the Wolves preview in general. It's talked a lot about other issues and whatnot. But yeah, moving on to the Wolves preview in general. How are you looking forward to the game? Obviously, are you looking forward to the game? How are you thinking it's going to go?
I'm a lot more worried than I should be, and it's only because our Wolves are like against the top 6. Wolves love to collect scalps against them, and let's be honest, the way they play, it is to an extent like a perfect counter for us. Because you know our teams love to sit back deep against us, but Wolves are just dangerous going forward.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm mainly worried about. Good thing about I'm going to go into one point. Good thing about Alonso playing today is that yesterday is that he probably won't be playing Sunday, so we're going to have Emerson on that left-hand side. It is still the fullbacks that worry me though, because Emerson has been caught out a good couple of times. Aspi as well, we know he's had issues covering that entire right-hand side. If Wolves start targeting through the wings, could be a really rough game for us. But we do have the quality to win. I always say that. We have the quality and we should be winning.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. I think it's kind of, as you said, you talked about the Wolves getting scouts and what we've already seen in the Cup against Liverpool, in the league against City,
Spurs,
us at the away leg.
I think drew at the Emirates as well.
Yeah,
drew at Old Trafford too. Drew with City at home.
It's like,
boy.
I think the only thing about Wolves for me at the minute is they're a little bit inconsistent. Like we saw against Huddersfield, they lost to a team that hadn't picked up a win in 18 games. And I think it only scored 1 in that 18-game run or whatever it was against Arsenal, funny enough. Things just don't seem to go well for you, do they? But yeah, I think also one thing I'm thankful for is that when we played them last time, since then they've had a bit of a formation change. So whereas before they were playing almost as we were last season with the 3-4-3, they've gone to a 3-5-2 to stack the midfield a bit more. And it works against some teams, but us, I don't know whether it will work as well. And the only reason I say that is because although it allows them to pack the midfield a bit more, that width goes a little bit. So
I get that, but with Wolves liking to sit deep, and I'll level with you. If that's the way it's going to be, then it all depends on the midfield. Because if we see something that's just demotivating, like Barkley or Kovacic playing and not Loftus-Cheek, because I love Kovacic, the man will not shoot. And against Wolves, a team that will sit back like them, you need threats from outside the box. Kante will shoot. Fair play. He will shoot if you... Maybe not all the time, but at least he does it. Loftus-Cheek will always go for it. We need threats from outside the box if we want to beat Wolves.
Yeah. I think, for me, I'm a little less pessimistic if I see Kovacic's name, just because in that Wolves midfield, having a player that can take the ball past them as well as he can, that's one good thing about him, his ball retention, the way he moves by players is very good. And I feel like that can help. Barkley, I completely agree. If Barkley's on that team sheet and I see Barkley's name as the third midfielder, I don't know what I'll do. I'll cry.
I'll take Kovacic over Barkley, but again, my only issue with Kovacic is that end product.
Yeah.
That's literally a problem. He's got so much quality on the ball. Fuck me, if he had any end product, he'd be one of the best midfielders in the league, honestly.
I totally agree. But yeah, I just can't. I want Loftus-Cheek to start, as I said. I think, bearing in mind, he started the away leg, so hopefully signs are good.
It all depends on that back injury, because
game.
we know he's being brought in very, very sparingly, and I keep saying I completely understand that we do not want him being the next Gareth Bale.
No,
maybe in terms of quality, but not in terms of injury record. But we don't want him in next Gareth Bale. We don't want him having injuries. We don't want him constantly having to battle back from injuries. But I think it's a case of we kind of need an update, because I think Loftus-Cheek's been kept a little bit quiet recently. Like, we don't really know how far he is in terms of recovery. So I'm going to say, basically, if we can get some sort of update in the next press conference, if he's still coming back from injury, cool, bring him back sparingly. If he's not and he's fully fit, why is he not starting?
Talking of the communication, from everything we've heard, like in the press conference before the Kiev game, Sarri's saying we've got no injury concerns.
So Loftus-Cheek's able to play then?
Yeah.
So then why isn't he?
Exactly. I hopefully, because he got 30 minutes against Kiev. Hopefully, he should be getting more. Probably at least, even if he doesn't finish the game on Sunday, he'll get at least 60 minutes probably.
Yeah, because I know we're talking about Hudson-Odoi in development. Loftus-Cheek's been at this top level.
Oh, I'd say last season
good
we saw
couple
Palace.
seasons. Yeah, last season he was playing regularly at Palace, and the first couple of games where they couldn't even score a goal to save their lives, Loftus-Cheek was the one saving them. It was just Benteke, innit?
Yeah, you miss Zaha. Palace really miss Zaha.
Oh yeah, and Zaha.
They were,
Could do with him too, to be honest.
Yeah, but even when he came back, you saw the link-up play a few times. Like if you watch their games between him and Loftus-Cheek, it was really good.
Yeah,
and we've seen that with
there's more intent from him. It's just that's the thing. These youth players, they're not scared.
No,
and that's the thing. Experience, I completely get that, but with experience, there's also the unwillingness to take risks. Hudson-Odoi is always willing to take that risk. Loftus-Cheek, I promise you, there ain't a midfielder that we have that's willing to take shots or go forward like he does.
Well, we do. The only problem is that player's footballing brain is non-existent. Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
Like he'll take shots. That's the thing. That's what I'm noticing. Loftus-Cheek, we have an equation in three midfielders, if that makes sense. We got Kovacic, who in terms of his movement and ball retention is amazing, but end product is dreadful. We've then got Barkley, who's that side is terrible, but end product is good in terms of shooting and whatnot. And we've got Loftus-Cheek, who's
I wouldn't even say that. Half his shots are going to shed upper.
But at least it's the willing to take risks and whatnot in that sense.
He's willing to take risks, but then it's just a quality question, isn't it?
But then we've got Loftus-Cheek, who's the perfect blend of the two.
Yeah.
It's literally
this is the thing, and it's the thing I say about Kovacic. Nothing against him,
no,
but he's a Real Madrid player. He is not a Chelsea player. So I'm not really about putting our youth players on the bench for a player that's probably going to be gone in the next couple months.
Unless we're buying him.
If we're buying him, fair play, complete 180.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I still want Loftus-Cheek getting more minutes, but I understand a bit more. But right now, he's not a Chelsea player and he's a Real Madrid player. So as it stands right now, the moment it hits July the 1st, he's back to Madrid.
Yeah.
So I do not want youth players having potential game time not being given to them because of loan players.
Yeah. Unless those loan players are top quality and are improving the side as a general.
Exactly. Kovacic was at the start of the season, but ever since we started having issues with the system after we lost to Spurs, he's fell apart too.
Yeah. I completely agree. But I'm kind of confident for the game. Just because of Wolves' iffy form, we've been decent recently. I know that, as I mentioned, the second half against Fulham for me was absolutely atrocious. It was dreadful. But I'm quite confident, to be honest. I think we can get a result. And seeing as Arsenal United are playing later that day, I'm in two minds about that, to be fair. A little side note. I want to draw, obviously. A draw is a perfect result, it helps us. But I kind of want to see Arsenal get battered.
Draw first. But no, anything but an Arsenal win.
Yeah, anything
because
but
Arsenal
an
are our closest competitors right now. So anything but an Arsenal win, I'd happily see Lingard fucking Millie rocking or gun leaning, do whatever you want. Hell, if he's not even playing Pogba, you need to back your man too.
Oh no, I think he is. I think Martial's back. I think Lingard's back.
Lingard's back. Cool.
And Matic,
cool.
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful game. But yeah, that's not it for the preview. We've got one last segment, or kind of two, but they're rolled into one. Onto the lineup predictions and the score prediction, and we'll be right back for that in one moment. Welcome back, guys, to the final segment of this match build-up show. As mentioned just before the little break, it's now time for the lineup predictions and the score prediction to finish it off. First thing I'm going to ask, Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek, are they going to start?
Is it our predicted lineup or is it the one we want?
Predicted lineup.
Hudson-Odoi ain't starting. Let's be honest. I'm not even gonna try to be optimistic.
It was worth the
about
question,
that.
but yeah.
Loftus-Cheek, maybe, but I don't know because we know Soren. We know he likes to stick with the same formation. So I see Loftus-Cheek as more realistic, but I don't think Hudson-Odoi is starting.
That's fair. I think just in terms of the team general, I think obviously Kepa's going to start.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question of that. I think the whole issue is done now. I'd like to see Caballero get a few more minutes here and there in like the Europa League, maybe in the away game.
Yeah.
But I think for the rest of the season, unless anything like that, if anything like that happens again, bye. See you later. But yeah, I think he's definitely starting. Left back, I think we mentioned Emerson now. Obviously with Alonso playing against Kiev.
Yeah, he got the full 90 as well.
So I think Emerson will definitely be starting. Same as Azpilicueta, got the rest that we so desperately wanted him to have.
Yeah.
And then Luiz. I got a question actually, because I reckon Luiz and Rudiger obviously in centre back. I think.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to give the armband to Luiz again?
No.
Or will he give it back to Azpi? You don't really think for a game?
Not for a game, mainly because I think it's just out of respect, to be honest. Because he ain't gonna do that to Azpi, because it will just be seen as disrespect. It's gonna create tension.
You say that, but look what he's done to Cahill.
Very fair point. Cool.
But yeah,
Actually no. But to be fair, I think Cahill basically knows that he is not wanted here, but he's just stayed.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, to be fair, he had a few opportunities to leave in the January.
Could have gone to Fulham, I think.
Yeah, I think Fulham and Arsenal were both interested. I can understand why we didn't give him to Arsenal.
I don't blame him for saying
but
no to you.
I think West Ham were interested as well. But yeah, as I said, I don't think he will either, but I think it's a decent question to raise, a decent point to raise. In terms of midfield, as we said, two of them are sorted, obvious. Definitely going to play Jorginho and Kante, as it should be from now on. I think Jorginho's improved. Obviously, he's there in terms of what he needs for the system, but I think in terms of his general play as a player has improved. Like his defensive work, his even off the ball stuff.
I think it's just a case of this is a very intense league, and it's also a very strong league. And I don't think Jorginho was ready for it. It's just adaptation. Like this whole season's just been about adapting.
Talking about adaptation, just a quick point on Jorginho. We've seen in the past 2 seasons, we've seen 2 players come in, both with a lot of hype around them in a very similar position. Obviously, they've got 2 different jobs and they're 2 different types of players, but one adapted and one didn't, and that's Bakayoko and Jorginho. Bakayoko flopped so bad, never adapted, never got his way at all, and Jorginho's different. Started well, dropped off a bit, had some problems, but is now getting back up to where he needs to be. In terms of that other midfield, I'm going to be confident. I think Loftus-Cheek will start. I don't think he'll finish the game, but I think he'll start.
I'm going to say Loftus-Cheek too, mainly because Barkley and Kovacic both started on Thursday.
And Kovacic played the whole 90 as well.
Yeah, Kovacic definitely won't. It'll be a Barkley or Loftus-Cheek thing, and I swear down if it's Barkley plays over Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Boy.
Oh, Christ. And then front 3, again, 2 of them sorted, obvious. Higuain and Hazard.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm interested to see how Higuain plays against the 3 at the back. He won't have Bolly to contend to as much, which is quite good. But yeah, the other winger, you said Hudson-Odoi will play. I don't think he'll play either. I think he'll be on the bench. Willian or Pedro?
Who came off for Hudson-Odoi?
Willian.
Yeah, Willian will play then. You know Willian. Willian always plays every game and he rarely ever gets injured. So it will probably be Willian.
Probably.
I mean, all we can really hope is Hudson-Odoi comes on early, to be honest. Unless he actually does start. So if he starts, I'll be really happy.
Oh, if he starts, then yeah.
I just don't see him start. I mean, because if anything, it will probably make more sense to Maurizio Sarri to start him on Thursday.
Yeah, but to be fair, there's enough time in between. I think he could.
I'm not saying he should do it, but I'm saying if I'm thinking in terms of Maurizio Sarri, if I'm thinking like him, he'll probably want to just give him the full 90 on Thursday, so he'll probably give him a substitute appearance if he's lucky.
I could see that's fair. Maybe getting 20 minutes, say 70th minute, and then the whole 90 on.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Hudson-Odoi simply does need to get more minutes because as much as I'm sorry, and he's not helping himself.
No, not at all.
Not only on this though, to be honest, because results have improved.
Yeah, but I completely agree. I think out of the 2, I'd want Pedro to start. Pedro and Willian. He won't because he played full 90. I think it will be Willian. But yeah, just go through that one more time for you guys. Kepa in goal. Emerson at left back. Azpilicueta at right back. David Luiz and Rudiger at centre back. Jorginho the Regista role. Kante and Loftus-Cheek, we're going to say, for centre mid. Please. And then Hazard, Higuain and Willian as the front 3. Last thing to do is score prediction.
I don't really like predicting Chelsea to lose unless it's the case of last season where we're just fucked from the beginning. I think Wolves will be hard. I think it'll be very hard, but I do think we can win. I hate doing 2-1 predictions because it's so basic, but I'm going to go 2-1.
It's quite ironic because I'm going 2-1 as well. I was thinking that.
No, because I think Wolves will score, and I think they'll be very threatening.
I think they'll score first. I think they'll get a goal, and then we'll catch them. Not necessarily on the counter attack, but Hazard will have that quality because Bennett, like their right centre back's dreadful. Like nothing's he's trash, and I think we'll be able to catch him like that. So I think 2-1 as well. But that's almost just about it from us on this Match Builder show for Wolves. Only sort of last couple of points are housekeeping as such, sort of little notices and whatnot. The first thing is, and it's a more personal thing for me, I just want to say thank you to all the guys, all the people who were commenting yesterday and who were showing support for the pair of us, for everyone yesterday. Obviously without Louis being there, it was nice to hear from you guys, so thank you very much. And the other thing, as I mentioned yesterday, today is the voting. The voting has started for the FBA's Football Blogging Awards, and we want to go for as many as we can. We want to be nominated for as many as we can, and we have a little snippet. The easiest way to vote, there are 3 ways to vote. For those that don't know, you can either go on the website. It's just type in Football Blogging Awards in Google or Bing or whatever you use, and it will come up. And you can go on their website, it'll be easy to follow. Or, as I get it up now, you can either vote on Instagram or Twitter. Instagram, again, the easiest way is just to go on their website. Find it. Yeah, if you go on their website and go on how to vote and nominate, it says go to the Football Blogging Awards and it explains it all on the website, so you can go there. For Twitter, we have got a little snippet, a little bit of text, so we're going to put it in the description as well for you to type in. So you can put out a tweet, and it's simply, I am voting for @100% Chelsea in @the FBAs for hashtag whatever category it is. So that may be best new, I don't think that's not new creator, it's best young influencer. There are some others, they're all on the website, I can get those up, that we will be going for. Best club creator, for example, best established creator, I think we can go for. I think that's it. Also, a slight change for that, both Lewis and Laurenz, even though he's just left, we are going to put Laurenz up because of the work he has done for us previously, the past 6 months, and since he's been on the channel. And so it's changed,
by the way.
Yeah, and so it's changing a little bit. Again, we'll put this one in the description below, and it simply changed to I'm voting for @CarefreeLewsG or what's it Loz1507.
Yeah.
From @100% Chelsea in the FBAs @the FBAs for hashtag best. For Laurenz will be best international creator, I think.
Yes.
Or best international influencer, and for Lewis it's best vlogger. But that's just about it. As I said, all the stuff about that will be in the description below. Also in the description below, you can find all the social media: Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all that. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We are about 1,000 subscribers away from 90k, which would be brilliant. You got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to my personal channel, Carefree Lewis G. I've just hit 1.3k. Getting closer and closer to 2k, but I can't do it without you guys. So yeah, please like and subscribe.
And as I said, that's just about it from us. We will see you on Sunday for Wolves 2:05 kickoff, and for all the stuff coming out after the game. See you then.